My mother struggled with substance abuse the majority of my younger life, probably until I was in 5th or 6th grade. Most of her siblings and just most of my family in general struggled with substance abuse or alcoholism or in some sort or another. I personally never had substance abuse issues, like myself using them. I've managed to somehow not do that, but it was definitely hard to, deal with my mother going through her struggles and my aunts and uncles and just different people in my family. I think the first time I was arrested, I was 18. I've been arrested for a lot of shoplifting, identity theft, fraud, selling drugs, possession of drugs, delivery of drugs, aiding and abetting, things like that. I had a lot of boyfriends or people that I dealt with that were in trouble a lot, and I just always ended up to be right in the middle of somebody else's stuff a lot of the time. It was pretty normal for me. I didn't find it very odd until way later. So when I found out I was pregnant, my daughter's dad was not a criminal. He was not living that sort of a lifestyle. He was actually kind of the opposite of that. So I felt safe about having a baby. And so then when he went to prison, it was really unexpected for me. So that was very difficult because it wasn't something that I had expected at all. So I felt like my mom had dealt with the same sort of situation, which really, my mom and I had never really talked about it, to be honest. A little bit, but not really in depth. And it's funny because when I told my daughter I was going to be sharing about this, I was talking to her and she didn't know a lot of the things that I was saying either. So I guess it's something sometimes you don't always talk about. I don't know. But I realized that I was going through a similar situation that my mom had went through, and I tried to think about how could I handle it differently to maybe get a different outcome. I think when my daughter was 2.5 maybe, I got my first 2 felonies, and I had just sat down kind of and been like, okay, her dad is just getting out of prison. You can't go to prison we can't both be in prison. We can't both be in trouble. So that kind of was a wake up for me. She was a wake up for me. Kind of get my life together. And it didn't happen right away at that point, but that was like a turning point for me. And I had to prioritize what was important to me, and it was her. It was pretty much just, I wanted to make sure that I was present for my daughter, because I felt like I have a lot of family and a lot of friends. If I went to prison or if I was in jail, she would have been taken care of. But I felt like they weren't going to do it correctly, not like I would do it. So it was pretty much priorities. What are your priorities? I had to ask myself, I didn't even have to ask myself. I already knew, this is my priority. I need to be present. I need to be available. I need to participate. And so that's what I did. By the skin of my teeth. I mean, really, it could have went a whole nother way multiple times. So I felt like if I kept on playing, taking chances, taking little chances, taking big chances, that at some point I wasn't going to win. And then I wouldn't be there. So I tried to not shelter my daughter and not hide things from her, and just be real open with her about my experiences that I had dealt with, and even other people that she knows, friends, family friends, and just be real upfront with her about, this, if you do this, this will happen, or this may happen, or so she could make informed decisions when she got older. And I only have one child, so it was like a shot in the dark, like maybe this will work or maybe it won't. But it did. My daughter's amazing. She's very well-rounded, and she's a great kid.